Mm.
The time being 6 o'clock, I will open the meeting of the Freetown Conservation Commission for November 14, 2020. We'll go to item number 1. Hearing schedule will be continue as follows. 92 Narrows Road. So I'll accept a motion to reopen the hearing for 92 Narrows Road.
I'll make that motion.
Motion has been made. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconding. All in favor, say aye. Keith Mello,
Aye.
Margaret French,
Aye.
Charles Sullivan, aye. The hearing is open. Accept a motion to continue it to November 28th, 2022.
I'll make that motion.
Motion's been made. Do I hear a second?
I second.
Motion is seconded. All in favor? Keith Mello,
Aye.
Keith Mello, aye. Margaret French,
Aye.
Margaret French, aye. Charles Sullivan, aye. Motion that passes unanimously. Item number 2, request for determination of ability, for 40 Chipaway Road. Owner applicant, Elaine White, representative Gregory Drake. Out behalf of the hearing.
I'll make,
Yeah, Greg Drake is on.
All right, Mr. Drake, if you would, please just give us a rundown of the, whole project.
Having technical difficulties, he will call back. So I don't know if you want to just move to
All
the
right,
next
if
one since
we'll
Rick's
move on
here.
to, item number 3. Item number 3 is the request for determination of applicability. 23 Mill Street, applicant owner Rose M. Dolphin Trust, representative Rick Sharon, Sharon Associates. Mr. Sharon is here.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Anybody that put this up where they can get on the screen, or do you have the? PDF? You don't have it.
I can screen share the plan.
Would you state your name just for the record?
Yes, my name is Rick Sharon from Sharon Associates Engineers in Rochester. Here on behalf of, I believe it's Rose Dolphin, 23 Mill Street. This is a septic repair, and you can see the, let me just step up to there a second. Okay. This is the edge of the Salt River, running along through here. 100-foot buffer zone from some BBW that runs along the side of it. Comes right about through here, so you can see virtually the entire lot is within the buffer zone. There's an existing leaching field in this area, went just about to this point here, and it had failed badly. And because it's a pump system, every time the pump would come on, apparently liquid was disgorging from the leaching field and running down towards the river. So this is this RDA is actually an after the fact filing. Apparently the owner through their excavator approached the chairman of the commission and also the Board of Health to find out if a repair could be done as an emergency repair. So what was proposed was to take the existing leaching field and dig it out completely, take out the contaminated overdig sand that was in there, and then rebuild it and actually rebuild it slightly larger. It turns out there was an addition with an extra bedroom in it that had been constructed at some point in time. So the existing system, the existing house is a 4-bedroom house. The old system was a 3-bedroom system, so it was upgraded. There had not been any reduction in groundwater separation, so we're able to reconstruct it in the same elevation, dig everything out, replace the contaminated sand, build a whole new system and build it large enough for the 4-bedroom design. There was a siltation barrier in place, it's still out there right now. And in fact, the system, we did the as-built on it last week. It's now been loamed and seeded, and the siltation barrier remains in place. There's also a flood zone in here along the river. You see the kind of purplish line running through here, and typical river type flood zone where at certain points it jumps up an extra foot. So it's an 18-foot height to this point here, and all of these elevations are tied into the mean sea level datum along with the coincide with the flood map. When it gets to this crazy line up in here, it jumps up to the 19-foot contour and continues further up the river upstream, and it'll jump up to 20 at some point further up. But that's the typical layout for flood zone alongside of the river. So what's been done is the dosing tank was renovated with a new pump and controls, and the original septic tank and the dosing tank were left in place, and it now pumps up in here into a brand new leaching field with a vent that's powered to release the air when it pumps. And essentially that's the project. And as I say, this was chosen to be done as an after the fact filing with an RDA. Really wasn't much else we could do in here. This is a very steep lot. It's right on the side of Mill Street. Very, very difficult access. The excavator had a difficult time getting the equipment in and out, getting his trucks in and out, but he was able to get it all put together and finish it up. So essentially, that's what the project is.
Does anyone on the commission have any questions?
No, where did you say the 100-yard buffer is?
The 100-foot buffer zone, you see the BBW line down here.
Is the green? Okay.
And here's the buffer zone running this way, and you see it gets up to this point, where really just everything on this part of the lot is in the buffer zone.
Okay, but it always has been.
Always has been, yes. The actual distance from the edge of river to the side of leaching field was, I believe that, I'm sorry, can't quite read that. I believe it's 83 feet, 82 feet.
Okay.
And from the BBW was 78 feet. So it's beyond the 75 feet that I think this town typically likes to see for setback. So it does meet that. And again, this was all built in 1997, went through notice of intent filing, I believe at that time, along with an addition that was put onto the house. So we're using the essentially the same system that was approved 25 years ago, and upgrading it to match up with the amount of number of bedrooms that are in the house right now.
Any other questions? Keith, do you have any questions? I do.
No, sir.
I went by there this morning.
Yes.
And I do have a little bit of a concern. That, as we say, that is a very steep slope.
Yes.
You have the
So
silt sock at the bottom. I'm wondering if it wouldn't be a good idea to put another silt sock about halfway down.
between here and
Between the present silk sock.
all up in
and
this area.
yes.
Yeah.
More for there, either that or cover it somehow.
Hmm.
Okay, because grass isn't gonna grow. There's no chance of it this year, especially with the forecast that we have for weather now. And I just think it might be a better thing for everyone involved.
I don't think we have a problem with it. We can put a silt sock in roughly in this area here.
Yes.
If that works out, I was fact that, did you see any signs of any runoff? Is there-
I didn't see anything, but it was, well, yes, it was the rain. I didn't see any sign.
We did have the heavy rain
Yeah,
over the weekend.
yeah.
But I haven't had a chance to get by there. Today.
You know, in the cursory look from the street, I didn't go onto the property, so.
No, I
But I'm
can-
just wondering, you know,
I can advise the installer to put that in tomorrow morning.
do I hear a motion? for number 3, the work described in the request is within the buffer zone as defined in the regulations, but will not alter an area subject to protection under the act. Therefore, said work does not require the filing of a notice of intent, subject to the following conditions. And that I would ask that we add the condition of an additional silk sock closer to the top of the bank. Do I hear a motion on that?
I'll make that motion.
Motion
I'll
is-
second.
Motion is made and seconded. All in favor, Keith Mello,
Aye.
Keith Mello, aye. Margaret French,
Aye.
aye. Margaret French, aye. Charles Sullivan, aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Sharon. Have a good night.
Well, good night.
Is the representative from Outback?
Yep.
Still, is he there?
Yep, he's on.
All right, go to, back to, item number 2, 40 Chipaway Road. Mr. Clayton, are you there?
Yeah, sorry about that. But I'm here now.
All right, thank you. Just, would you state your name for the record?
Gregory Drake from Engineering, representing the applicant at 40 Chipaway Road.
And I think Victoria would be able to put the plan up for all of us to see.
So basically, it's basically a septic repair. And, you know, and the new leaching field is in the, within the 100-foot buffer. We did submit to the Board of Health, and the Board of Health has actually approved it. There were some variances we were asking for, only, you know, they wanted, typically wanted 75 feet away, and it was, it's 59 feet, so we asked for that variance. And they actually approved this plan, except for, they did want the septic tank changed to a 2-compartment. So I do have an updated drawing I can send you that shows it as a 2-compartment tank, but that's outside the buffer. But everything else was approved by the Board of Health. And I'm happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Do you have any questions from the commission? Hearing none, I will accept the motion. The work described in the request is within the buffer zone as divide in the regulations, but are not altered in areas subject to protection under the act. Therefore, said work does not require the filing of a notice of intent, subject to the following conditions. And we don't have any conditions, Mr. Drake. So I'll accept the motion on that.
So moved.
Motion has been made.
Second.
Motion has been seconded. All in favor, say aye. Keith Mello.
Aye.
Keith Mello, aye. Margaret French.
Aye.
Margaret French, aye. Charles Sullivan, aye. Motion passes unanimously. Mr. Drake, you can pick up your paperwork in a few days, I would say,
Mhm.
at the office.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Item number 4 is a request for determination of applicability for 272 Bullock Road. Applicant owner is Eric Hackett, and the scope of the work is construction of a single-family home with associated driveway, well, and septic. The commission originally found a determination back in 2007, I believe it was, for this site. And with this plan, the time limit has expired and the property owner has come back asking that we reapprove the request for applicability. So with that in mind, does anyone want to see the plan? Victoria will put it up. Or this property is basically on Bullock Road, south of Quantapug Road. And it's a large lot. And Victoria says that basically the only issue is the grading of the driveway. So if anyone has any questions, the applicant isn't available tonight. But like we said, it's really just a renewal of a form action that the commission had taken. If I'll accept the motion that the work described in the request is within the buffer zone as defined in the regulations, but do not alter an area subject to protection under the act. Therefore, said work does not require the filing of a notice of intent subject to the following conditions. And there be no additional commission or conditions unless I hear otherwise again. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make it.
The motion has been made,
I'll second.
motion has been seconded, all in favor. Keith Mello,
Aye.
Keith Mello, aye. Margaret French,
Aye.
Margaret French, aye. Charles Sullivan, aye. Motion passes unanimously. In the last two items, discussion, take action relative to planning and land use administrator position. Victoria, do we have a description in all of that?
Yeah, so we voted on the job description at a previous meeting. So what this item is for is if the board is still willing, if they wanted to recommend me for that position, we needed a formal vote.
I'll open that up to discussion.
Are you applying or?
Yeah, so the position will be posted internally and then I will have to apply for it formally. But it was requested to have a formal vote of both of my board to make sure they wanted me in that position.
Right.
Okay.
I can think of no one better.
Nope,
Thank you.
I'm with Keith.
All right, I'll accept the motion as the person who wants to make that motion wants to word it.
Go ahead, Keith.
I'm not good on wording things. I'll make a motion that Victoria takes over the responsibilities of the job. I don't know. I'm sure there's a better way to put that, but
Yeah, I would say to recommend me as the planning and land use admin.
okay. My phone just broke up wicked bad here. The Wi-Fi here is terrible.
Do you want me to do it, Keith?
If you can, Margaret, just,
Okay, I motion to recommend Victoria as the planning and land use administrator.
I'll second it.
So motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Keith Mello.
Aye.
Keith Mello says aye. Margaret French.
Aye.
Margaret French says aye. Charles Sullivan says aye. All in favor of the motion was unanimous. So moved.
Thank you.
The last item, or the next to last item, is the minutes for October 25th, 2022. The minutes were forwarded to us. Did everyone get a chance to read them?
Yes.
Does anyone have any issues with anything in the minutes?
No,
Hearing none, I will accept the motion to, or accept the motion, to set the minutes for October 26th.
I'll make the motion.
Motion has been
second.
made, motion has been seconded. All in favor, say aye. Keith Mello,
Aye.
Keith Mello says aye. Margaret French,
Aye.
Margaret French says aye. Charles Sullivan says aye. All right, motion passes unanimously. Item number 7, any other business properly to come before the Conservation Commission? I do have one little thing, and I wonder if we may want to decide to have a little bit more formal rules and regulations on how we act on the Wetlands Act. I think the situation with Mill Street would be a good example of, sometimes we have things come before the board that need to be addressed, and maybe would be addressed by the new position. Would we give the authority to our agent to do the initial act on something that may come up as an emergency, or that there's been some issue with? So if we had, I think, more formal rules, whether we call them rules and regulations or policies and procedures, so that the person who is becoming our agent can have firm ground in which to act on something that needs to be done. It isn't, running around making phone calls, or maybe, which skirts on, an open meeting violation, something like that. So I'd like to see if we can't talk about that in the meeting in the future,
Okay,
right? And if no one else has anything, I will accept the motion to adjourn.
I'll make it.
Motion is made,
Second.
motion is made and seconded, motion to adjourn. Keith Mello,
Aye.
Keith Mello says aye. Margaret French,
Aye.
Margaret French says aye. Charles Sullivan says aye. Motion passes. Have a good night, folks.
have a good night.
Thank
Don't
you,
work too
Kevin.
hard down there, Keith.
Well, I'll try not to, Charlie.
All right,
See.
take care.